got to stand up.
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Nicky Wagner. You can't call from when you're sitting down.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The money that we spend on vote conservation and Budget 2016 is shaped by the history of our environment. New Zealand has a fabulous and unique natural environment, and it's the history of being an isolated and uninhabited land that has shaped our conservation priorities today. It's a country that had no land mammals, and so in every single ecological niche, a bird had adapted to fit it. We had tiny little birds with long legs that acted like the mice and the rats. We had the kiwis and the kakapos that were equivalent of small land mammals. We had a whole number of moas, including the giant moa that represented the large land mammals, and the giant eagle was our predator. And without mammals on the land, the birds walked and they nested, and they couldn't defend their nests on the ground. And as soon as humans came there, and they came with their entourage of animals, they came with rats and pigs and dogs. Later we got possums and stoats, even wallabies, and of course trout and salmon. As soon as these humans came with their animal entourage, the days were numbered of our precious birds.
Yep. The member will resume her seat just while I remind her of Speaker's rulings 53.4, which go to reading speeches. Now, the minister's at a distinct disadvantage because she's sitting right beside me.
And you can tell.
I could read the speech.
Yes, it was.
And so. Maybe not as well, Mr. Simpson, and that was a shocking thing to say, and you've got a warning. I'm sure not as well, and certainly not with the same accent. So I am going to now invite the minister to stop reading her speech.
Right, Mr. Speaker. So even centuries later, we have to use that money to protect our birds and to get rid of the predators. So $20 million for the Battle of the Birds is money well spent, and we're getting really good outcomes for that money spent. We find that where you have land that is unprotected, where it is not predator-free, maybe 10 to 20% of our chicks survive, where if it's a predator-free area, it can be 80 or 90%. But we also have ongoing work with whole ecosystems, looking to multiple species. For example, I recently visited Mason Flat in Stewart Island, and there they have unique dune formations, and there's over 24 different types of plants that are rare and special to that area. Thank you.
I was just helping you get to the end of that.
Rare and special to that area, and if we can look after those plants, all the rest of the birds, the lizards and the insects flourish as well. So that ongoing ecosystems, we've got about 500 different ecosystems right throughout the country. But I'm the Associate Minister of Conservation, and my focus is on community conservation and conservation boards. And I have to say there's an enormous amount of work going in that area. We have 14 conservation boards throughout New Zealand, and they are the ones that lead that conservation work, that do the planning to protect our land. But it's the community groups that are delivering for us as well. And just recently we had the Green Ribbon Awards, and at those Green Ribbon Awards we recognised the work of community groups. Now DOC is investing $32 million to support those community groups, and we're seeing all types of work coming out of that. We've got educational work, we've got planting, we've got species recognition, we've got a myriad of work. You name it and somebody is doing it. And just this weekend, I'm going to visit Araroa. Now, you will have all followed the Araroa Give a Little campaign. That is Dwayne Major and his brother-in-law, Adam Gardner. They got the people of New Zealand activated to protect that piece of land. And it was an enormous privilege for us to be able to top up that amount of money by $350,000 from the Nature Heritage Fund to make sure that that land would be absorbed into the Araroa National Park. I've always believed that New Zealanders really love the natural environment, that they want to protect it. And I think this Give a Little campaign is a really vivid example of the work that they are doing and what they're prepared to do to support our natural environment. So finally, I would like to thank all the conservation boards for the work that they do, also for DOC working hand in hand with them, and for DOC working hand in hand with our community groups, which are everywhere, right throughout the country, and together we can really protect and look after this magnificent environment that we have. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Chair.
Kevin
Mr.
Hay.
Chair.